In this section, we are going to talk about localization in Laravel. What is localization? Why do we need it? When do we need it? And what are the ways of achieving the localization? So first, let's talk about localization. So localization means translating the website from one language to another language. By default, all the websites supports English language, but if you want to have or achieve a goal with the multi-language website, or you want your website, the default language should be maybe Spanish or German or Dutch or anything like that. So here, for that reasons, the localization needs, and that is why we need the localization. Now in Laravel provides a very efficient way of handling localizations. Now there are two various methods of dealing with localization: translating your website from one language to another language, and then also enabling the multi-language flexibility to your application by just clicking on one language, then converting it into the language that is desired or the clicked one. So there are many benefits of localization, and there are only two ways of doing localization in Laravel. So first of all, let's see how we can create localization and how we can create our language files. So in Laravel, the first thing is basically everything that we are going to translate should exist inside the lang folder. So that folder does not exist out of the box. So what we need to do is basically we need to run the artisan command in order to publish the language directory. So php artisan lang publish. Now once we hit that lang publish, this language file will automatically be created in our main directory. So here you can see the lang file is automatically created. Now this comes already with the en folder, and you can so this means like the default folder that every website, as I mentioned, that every website supports English out of the box. Now any file that you want to create for the English version, obviously you have to create that file inside the en folder. Now there is another, if you want to translate it to another language, maybe let's say Spanish or Dutch, so you have to create those relevant files in the lang directory. So let's say for an instance, I want to translate my website into Dutch. Alright, so all I have to do is basically I have to create a folder of DE. So this means like this is basically will be translated into Dutch. And if you want to convert your website from English to Spanish, then you have to create a folder called Spanish. Now all the files that you need to translate should exist inside these folders. Now by the way, as I mentioned that Laravel out of the box supports English language. So let's go into our app, the config and app.php, and let's see the default language for our application. So if you scroll down, so you will see the locale is set to the en out of the box. So this means that it is referring to this en folder here. Now if you want, there is another option of a fallback locale. So if this en folder somehow is deleted or does not exist, so there should be a fallback folder which the application will automatically point to. So maybe in your case it could be the Dutch, or it could be Spanish and stuff like that, or any of the files that you might want to choose. Now you can define or change the language files from the locale of your default to, let's say, ES here, and let's say the fallback locale could be the English here as well. Now this is how basically you structure your folders or directories in Laravel for the language files. Now there are two types of language files in Laravel. The first is basically consists of PHP, which returns an array, and the second is in the form of JSON. Alright, so there are two different versions. So the one is PHP and then there is another is JSON. So what are the difference between the PHP and JSON? So both actually returns you the key and value pairs. So the key could be anything that you want, and the value would be the translated line or the translated word. So whereas when you are dealing with the large scale application or translation files, so Laravel recommends that you should use the JSON files, because JSON files are easily parsable, and they are easily and they can easily be manipulated by the Laravel. So this is what we have talked about, a basic information about localization and language files. In the next video, we will see how we can create our first language file and then use it as maybe replace some of the words or some of the text on our front end in certain languages. So that's about it, and I will see you in the next one.